For weeks, the Sean Combs trial has unfolded with testimonies, documents, and fleeting glimpses of evidence. But just recently, the jury tasked with deciding the fate of the music mogul was granted an unprecedented look behind a heavily guarded curtain. They were made to watch the explicit Freakoff videos, the very recordings that have become a central and intensely debated element of the prosecution's sex trafficking case against Diddy. These aren't just still images or brief snippets. We're talking about lengthy clips viewed in the private confines of the jury box, with monitors deliberately shielded from the public eye. This marked the first time the individuals who will ultimately determine guilt or innocence were given such an extensive and direct encounter with this highly sensitive material. The content of these videos, allegedly depicting drug-fueled sexual encounters, has been the subject of much speculation, but now the jury has seen it firsthand, a pivotal moment in this already explosive trial. The prosecution's case hinges significantly on the argument that these very freak-off videos weren't just recordings of private activities. They were, in fact, a calculated tool wielded by Sean Combs for control and silence. Central to this claim is the powerful testimony of Combs's former girlfriend, the musician Cassie Ventura. In her account, a chilling picture emerges of Combs allegedly threatening to unleash these explicit videos upon the world. Ventura spoke of a deep-seated fear, not just for her career, the public image she had carefully cultivated, but also for the well-being and privacy of her family. Her words painted a stark image of a man allegedly leveraging deeply personal and compromising recordings as a means of coercion, ensuring compliance and preventing any public disclosure of his alleged activities. "It's horrible and disgusting," she stated, a sentiment that underscores the gravity of the blackmail allegations and the profound impact these threats reportedly had on Ventura's life. The prosecution contends that this fear of exposure, fueled by the existence and threatened release of these videos, is a key element in understanding the alleged sex trafficking operation. However, the narrative surrounding these freak-off videos is far from one-sided. Sean Combs's defense team has vehemently countered the prosecution's claims of coercion and blackmail, presenting a starkly different interpretation of the same evidence. Their argument centers on the assertion that the lengthy clips viewed by the jury actually depict women willingly and voluntarily participating in these marathon orgies, which they have referred to as freak-offs or hotel nights. Defense attorney Tenny Garagos made this clear during her opening statement, emphasizing their belief that the videos serve as powerful evidence that the sexual conduct in this case was consensual and not based on coercion. The defense insists that the jury saw individuals actively engaging in the activities without any signs of duress, suggesting that these were private, albeit perhaps unconventional, encounters between consenting adults. Their strategy hinges on convincing the jury that the videos undermine the prosecution's contention of a coercive environment and instead support the idea of voluntary participation, thereby challenging the very foundation of the sex trafficking charges. The battle over the interpretation of these sealed videos is clearly a crucial point of contention in the trial. Beyond the explicit content of the videos themselves, the prosecution has been meticulously laying out a financial trail, attempting to demonstrate how Sean Combs allegedly utilized his considerable wealth and business empire to facilitate and sustain these freak-offs. Evidence presented to the jury has illuminated significant financial transactions linked to these events. For instance, the staggering $46,000 worth of damage incurred at the Intercontinental Hotel in Manhattan's Times Square wasn't paid for through a personal account in a discreet manner. Instead, the jury saw evidence indicating that the massive $944,059 credit card bill for that month, which included the damage fees, was settled through multiple bank accounts directly controlled by Combs's various companies. This, the prosecution argues, points to a deliberate leveraging of business funds for personal and, allegedly, illicit activities. Furthermore, the financial connections extend to the individuals involved. Testimony revealed instances where Combs used his personal credit card to purchase airline tickets for Cassie Ventura and, notably, for an escort back in 2010. These charges, the prosecution highlighted, were similarly routed through a signature bank account held by Bad Boy Entertainment Worldwide. This pattern of using company funds to cover expenses related to these freakoffs, including travel for participants, forms a key part of the prosecution's argument that Combs's business was inextricably linked to and used to orchestrate what they claim was a criminal enterprise. They assert that these financial records expose a deliberate and well-resourced operation, far removed from the realm of simple private encounters. Adding another layer of complexity and visual evidence to the prosecution's case is the widely discussed video of Sean Combs allegedly assaulting Cassie Ventura at a Los Angeles hotel in 2016. This video, which became public last year and has been repeatedly viewed during the trial, stands as a centerpiece of the prosecution's argument, offering a tangible depiction of the alleged abuse within their relationship. Following this incident, text messages presented in court revealed a frantic effort by Christine Coram, Combs's then chief of staff, to manage the fallout. When Ventura reportedly refused to answer Combs's calls and texts, Coram allegedly intervened, urging Ventura to just talk to him. Her message, "Sorry, don't want to be in the middle, just don't want him to go back over there," hints at an awareness of Combs's potential actions and a desire to de-escalate the situation. The prosecution argues that these messages, in conjunction with the assault video itself, further illustrate a pattern of control and attempts to suppress evidence of Combs's alleged misconduct. The video provides a stark visual counterpoint to the defense's narrative of consensual encounters and underscores the prosecution's claims of a deeply troubled and potentially abusive dynamic. As the prosecution nears the conclusion of its presentation, the overarching narrative they have strived to construct centers on the assertion that Sean Combs's alleged actions were not isolated incidents, but rather components of a larger, covert criminal enterprise. Through the testimony of witnesses, the presentation of explicit video evidence, and the meticulous tracing of financial transactions, the prosecution has attempted to paint a picture of Combs leveraging his significant wealth and the infrastructure of his business empire to facilitate and conceal illicit activities. The evidence regarding the exorbitant hotel damages, the use of company funds to finance travel and accommodations for individuals involved in the freakoffs, and the alleged threats of releasing compromising videos all contribute to this central argument. Furthermore, the attempts to manage the fallout from the alleged assault on Cassie Ventura, as evidenced by Christine Coram's text messages, are presented as further indicators of a concerted effort to control information and prevent the exposure of potentially damaging incidents. The prosecution contends that these disparate pieces of evidence, when viewed together, reveal a pattern of control, coercion, and concealment, all allegedly orchestrated and funded through Combs's business operations. Their aim is to convince the jury that this was not simply a case of private sexual encounters, but a calculated and sustained criminal enterprise operating under the guise of a successful business. As the prosecution prepares to rest its case, the Sean Combs trial stands at a critical juncture. The evidence presented has painted two dramatically contrasting pictures for the jury to consider. On one side, the prosecution has argued a compelling narrative of coercion, exploitation, and a calculated criminal enterprise, supported by explicit videos, financial records, and witness testimonies detailing alleged threats and attempts at concealment. On the other side, the defense has vehemently maintained that the activities depicted were consensual, challenging the claims of blackmail and coercion, and suggesting alternative explanations for the presented evidence. The jury now faces the monumental task of sifting through these conflicting accounts, weighing the credibility of the witnesses and interpreting the significance of the often graphic evidence they have been shown. Their ultimate verdict will not only determine the legal fate of Sean "Diddy" Combs, potentially carrying a life sentence, but it will also undoubtedly have a profound and lasting impact on his public legacy and the future of the iconic Bad Boy Entertainment. Regardless of the outcome, the revelations and allegations brought forth in this trial have already sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry and beyond, leaving a stark reminder of the complexities and potential darkness that can exist behind the glittering facade of fame and fortune. The world watches, waiting to see which picture the jury ultimately deems to be the true reflection of reality.